Okay, hope everybody got a chance to see part one of my game warehouse. As I wrote down in the comment section on the video that most all these games are for sale. I am a retailer, I do sell games, and I have a lot of out-of-print stuff here. So in part one we took a left here. As you can see, I'm coming down my basement stairs. My basement's divided in half by the stairwell. So this time we're going to take a right. See what we got over on that side. Flip on these switches here. Okay. So as we come down the stairs, we're looking right, and you can see that there are quite a few games just on this frontal wall here itself. So we'll take a look and see what we got there. Let's see, we got some railroad games, some Euros, a little bit of everything. There's Iron Tide, great game. There's some decision stuff. We got some things that should probably be put in another place. I haven't totally organized this. I've organized most of my major game companies. That is the ones that I have the most of. GMT, Avalon Hill, some other major ones. Haven't gotten around to sorting out all of these yet, but I'll get there. So here we're seeing a lot of good stuff. Here's the top shelf. As I mentioned before, most of these shelves, where possible, are 5 shelves per wall deep. And a friend of mine, Chris Jewell, shelved this entire basement. And when he was done, I still didn't have enough room to put up all of my games, and had to add freestanding shelves in the middle. And that took care of my board games. That didn't take care of my magazines, which I still have boxed up, and I'm working on getting those unboxed. But you can see I got a few games here. And Scrabble. How did that get there? So I got a little bit of everything. Mainly war games. That's my bread and butter. That's what I like playing the best. But I'll play Euros. I like teaching people that haven't played board games before. Usually start them out on a Euro. And have really gotten some really nice results. And actually people are surprised because they had no idea that there were even these kind of games out there. So I take great satisfaction in being able to introduce others to this hobby. I also take great satisfaction in being able to sell hard to find games to a lot of people that have become regular customers over the years. I do a lot of overseas business, and gotten a lot of really nice feedback and emails from people that I've dealt with, and I've met a lot of really great people too. Met some assholes as well. Alright, so that's that wall in no particular order. Here is my Avalon Hill stuff as it begins. What I did with them is all the old stuff in the old style boxes. I kind of separated them from the bookshelf type games, and I put them all up top so you can see I've got all the classics. Got just about everything Avalon Hill ever did, except for some real obscure titles like Year of the Lord or some other ones that I probably wouldn't even be interested in at the time. There's a couple nice ones there. Recognize as Longest Day, Midway, anyway, great game. I love these classics. Battle of the Bulge. Man, these are games that started the hobby. Killer. They're still great games to play. It's a shame that with the glut of games out there today and how far war games have come along, that most people will never ever want to pick one of these up to play it, and that is a real shame, because they are great games still, and you really get a taste of history by playing them, and you can see how game mechanics kind of morphed and evolved through the playing of these games. There's a great game. When Russian Campaign came out, it like topped the Avalon Hill charts. They used to have a rating system, and it stayed at the top of their charts for forever. Played the heck out of that game. Love it. Of course, L2 kind of redid it. I don't think they changed a whole heck of a lot. Still plays the same. They made a few changes, but basically you're going to get the same enjoyment out of the Avalon Hill version. It's just older, and it's a shame people don't want it, because it's a first edition, I gotta have the latest and greatest, and blah blah blah, not realizing that they'd get great gameplay and fun even with first edition stuff. Well, even with Avalon Hill, they updated their Russian Campaign version a few times. Just basically some rule clarifications and stuff. Tactics 2, game that started the whole commercial war game hobby. Awesome. Some oldies, U-Boat, Verdict 2. If you're an aspiring lawyer, this game's for you. Gettysburg. Came out in 1958 and went through a few changes. Went from squares to hexes back to squares again. Then they came out with the 77 version of Gettysburg, which for the tournament game, if you play the most advanced game, topped the Avalon Hill complexity charts, 10 out of 10. And there's a couple other instances of Gettysburg. They had the Smithsonian edition. Another great game. Wooden Ships and Iron Men. Waterloo. What a classic. It's a great game. Still play it today with my friend. Matter of fact, we went to World Board Gaming Championships and played a game of that this year in the heat, but had a great time anyway. War at Sea, Victory in the Pacific. I love that game. Anyway, those are the big box versions. Now we'll go back here and take a look at their bookcase. Now I do have some newer games that came out once they went to the bookcase era, and still came out with some big games. There's the newer version of Diplomacy. Well, it's not the newest one anymore, but it's when Hasbro bought them out. Sorry to see that happen. I loved Avalon Hill, grew up with them. Age of Renaissance, good game. Down with the King, but not too many people have played that. Gunslinger, Guns of August, played the heck out of that. Hannibal, there's the original Hannibal, Rome versus Carthage, now a Valley Games production. History of the World, 2 different versions. Nice, Dune, love that game. Plus all the modules for it, the Duel, Spice Harvest. Let's see. Hitler's War, 100 Days Battle. Kingmaker, big classic. A lot of people love that. still to this day. There's a great game. If you like Napoleonic games with everything, that's the game. Not to take away anything from the work Kevin Zucker and others have done on Napoleonic style stuff. Knights of the Air. Firepower. What an awesome sim that is. Flight Leader. Gremlin. Kind of has some humorous aspects to it. The original For the People. Avalon Hill. B-17 Solitaire. Played a lot of that. Battle Cry. Original Bitter Woods. Original Britannia. Original Breakout Normandy. Frederick. Fortress Europa. Just tons of stuff. Luftwaffe. Had that when I was a kid. France 40. Same thing. Here's an underrated game right there. Bull Run. I love that game. Never got the recognition it deserved. It's a lot of fun. Civilization. Used to have a regular Civilization night every week. Even the girls would play that. Conquistador. It's a neat exploration game. Discovery. Geronimo. Gangsters. That game came with a squirt gun. And if somebody on purpose wanted to do a hit, the rules say you get to blast them with the squirt gun. Was a first. Probably a last as well. Fury in the West was a big name. Here is the Civil War series that Avalon Hill started, now picked up by Multiman. Grant takes command, here comes the rebels, roads to Gettysburg, on to Richmond, Stonewall Jackson's Way, Stonewall in the Valley, Stonewall's Last Battle. I have not played any of those, but people I know that have love them. Let's see here. What do we got? Okay. Machiavelli, we used to play the heck out of that. That's great. Here's Merchants of Venus. Very popular game. Not too much my cup of tea, but people love it. This old Panzer Leader. Great. Starship Troopers, based on the Heinlein book. We the People. That was the very first card-driven game ever. Got 2 shrink-wrap copies of it there. A Mark Herman design. Little stroke of genius when that came out, because it opened up a whole new world in board game design and mechanics, and spawned a lot of nice card-driven games from that point. I gotta move boxes. These boxes are loaded with gaming magazines like S&T and you name it. If it's war games, I got magazines on them. Successors, the original Successors. GMT put that out, sold out. Game's just as good. You can see on that bottom shelf I got a bunch of ASL stuff. Never did play ASL, but talk to anybody that has played it regularly, and they're going to tell you they love it. New World. There's Republic of Rome, picked up by Valley Games later on. Richtofen's War. There's a classic. Third Reich, Rising Sun, which later became GMT's World at War. Squad Leader. Now I did play Squad Leader. And the modules. See, I got a couple copies of that. Got Cross of Iron, Crescendo of Doom, GI Anvil of Victory. And by that time, I guess they thought that the system needed a big overhaul, and they went with ASL after that. But I had a lot of fun with Squad Leader. And down here you can see I got a few more Advanced Squad Leader modules. Now these boxes are filled with magazines. And in those binders is ASL modules and everything else. It's a Redskin binder full of ASL modules. More ASL stuff in there. I don't even know what I got here. There. Magazines. Now we got this back room, which is actually the laundry room area, as you can see, but also shelved. And all these boxes are loaded with magazines. Game magazines, more shelving. There's some more magazines on the floor. More magazines on that side. Magazines. Coming around to this area. Those plastic drawers are all filled with generals, Avalon Hill generals, of which I have more of. There's more. I think I have every general, most multiple copies, except for Volume 1, Number 1. Never did get that. Those are more magazines. So anyway, that is the back room. And here's another freestanding shelf because I didn't have room for everything on the real shelves. So you can see there both sides have games. On this side I have Dan Version stuff. Very popular Field Commander series and the very popular Down in Flames series. Victory Games, which Avalon Hill picked up, subsidiary of Avalon Hill, and a lot of great designers design games for Victory Games. Mark Herman is one of them, among many others. Pacific War, I understand that Mark Herman is redesigning that one. At least I read something about it. A couple down there that are a little beat up, but good players' copies, at least for me. I don't care if the box is a little beat up if I'm playing it. I don't look at the box when I'm playing it. As long as all the pieces are there, I'm good. Korean War, even got some James Bond role-playing stuff there. Hell's Highway, Gulf Strike. That Civil War game is great. More Gulf Strikes. That Civil War game is one of the best strategic Civil War games I've ever played. Central America. More Central America. Carrier. Ambush series. A lot of this stuff is solitaire play. Ambush. And then going around to the other side of this, we got multi-man stuff. Starts up there with Civil War stuff. We'll come around. See all that. That. The infamous Case Blue OCS series. Here's some Napoleonic stuff. Here's the Tactical Combat series. Standard Combat series. Just sold my last copies that I had of Africa 2nd edition. Still got the 1st edition, which is good. Of course, once people find out there's a new edition, it's like the 1st edition must suck now. Not the case. It's all the psychology of gaming. Gotta have the latest and greatest. There's the Grand Tactical series, No Question of Surrender. Pretty cool game. There you got your 2 Market Garden games. Victory Denied, great series. Red Star Rising, a mini monster, real good. Don't have any more Victory Lost except for my player's copy, which I play all the time. I love that game. Let's see. Monty's Gamble. There's a Mike Ranella design. He has a lot of fans. Sometimes I say things tongue-in-cheek. Trying to separate some of my magazines out down there. And down here we got Against the Odds. I crouched down. Anyway, you get the idea. And looking underneath the shelves, you'll see miscellaneous boxes and things like that. And most all of those are filled with magazines and the occasional, you know, just knickknacks, office supplies. But most of them is magazines. And when I start going through them, sometimes I find out I got games in there that I haven't even opened yet. So those are nice surprises. Anyway, that's it. This is Osprey, and I hope you enjoyed the 2 videos. See anything you like, shoot me an email. You can find me on Boardgame Geek. And happy gaming to all of you, and have a good night. Osprey out.